I've been working recovery for a while and I'm still having a hard time trusting.
Brannon, good to see you, man.
You too. I saw you over the holidays, which was nice to see you.
Always nice
Yeah.
to see you.
You ate a lot of turkey.
No, no more than a normal year, I don't think.
I don't know. I was kind of watching
Yeah, I'm sure you were. That's the thing you pay attention to the whole
all
holiday.
all the time.
Yeah, yeah, I'm sure.
It actually was a really good meal of food.
Oh,
And
so good.
the conversation after and just hanging out with you guys was one of the best
It
Thanksgivings I
was just
think
a
we've had
total
in a
chill
while.
day all the way around. Like
Yeah.
didn't feel like there was a lot of pressure. It was great to be with the family.
Your
Yeah.
pickleball game is impressive. I gotta say.
Pickleball, a pickle. I love the game of pickleball, and I'm not really all that great at it.
You're
So,
good. No, you're
yeah.
good. I was impressed.
No, we had a good
I
time. That was
I
fun.
gotta go practice so I can compete with you.
Whatever. I think you
So
beat me.
yeah, yeah. Um, well, should we just dive right
Let's
in?
go. Let's go for it.
Okay. Mandy, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you for having me.
You're welcome. If you could give us a little bit of what's going on with you, and we'll just go from there.
My husband and I have been working to rebuild trust. He's been semi-working recovery for about 3 years now from uh, the like initial discovery or betrayal in our relationship. And um, there have obviously been, ups and downs, a few setbacks with the recovery with his specific addiction. And um, yeah, I can't get unstuck from that place of like going back and forth from depression to anger. Um, and yeah, I'm stuck. I need help.
Well, it took a lot of courage for you to come on the show and talk with us today. Hopefully, we can help a little bit here. I'm so glad that you're here, Mandy.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, could you just give us a little bit more, um, if you can, of what you guys have been doing in the last few years in terms of the work that's gone on between the two of you and on both sides?
Initially when um the first betrayal happened, it was kind of a huge blow up. We split up for a minute, and um, I went and did some intense like retreat. Thankfully, my I work for a church, and so they're very understanding of that situation. They sent me away to a retreat and try to get some respite and healing from that. And um, he kind of dove into like a 12-step program and has been semi working that off and on. And then we did do some couples therapy together with a CSAT, and we worked that for about 6 months together. And then he did a few months on his own with the CSAT. Um, And then we kind of hit a roadblock with just family stuff, babies, hospital things. And so we're on the tail end of having 3 kids in 3 years.
Wow.
Jeez.
Yeah. And so, we feel like we're finally getting our heads back above water to where we can actually settle in and say, like, okay, let's come back to what we were trying to do in the first place. Let's get back to, a place where we can work on trust and safety with each other. So
So, what are your kids' ages?
we have 2-year-old twins,
Oh,
and then our youngest just turned 1.
okay.
Yeah.
Um, wow. So there's a lot going on with you right now.
Yes.
So tell me a little bit. You say you're stuck in the anger and depression. What do you mean by that? What does that look like?
I think that emotionally for me is what I feel like I just go back and forth from, where um in my daily interactions with him is a different story. But when you look at the actual intimacy between us, the connection between us as a marriage, my emotions are either I'm so mad at you, like I don't want to do anything with you, I don't want to look at you, I don't want to hang out with you, or it's the other side of it. And excuse me for getting a little emotional, but
You're okay.
um or it's the other side of it where it's like I'm just so sad, like I just feel so sad about everything that has happened up until this point. So I feel like the depression is like, in my mind, it makes me swirl these thoughts of like, is it even worth it? Has too much happened? um and so yeah, I go back and forth between those two places, and I don't feel like I can ever kind of get out of that pit.
Hmm.
Which Mandy, just this isn't going to fix anything, but I want you to know that you're not alone in what you're going through right now. This is actually a really common thing that goes on for a betrayed partner. So you're not alone here. I am wondering a couple of thoughts here, and this is hard because we're just talking to you for the first time and we don't have
Sure.
a lot of background. Um, some of what you're going through could be legitimate red flags because there's a continued lack of trust in the relationship. Some of what you're going through could be that, like, he's killing it in his recovery, and yet you're still struggling and floundering. And if there were legitimate red flags, Brandon and I would be kind of talking to you in a different direction than if there was actually legitimate trust that's being rebuilt, but you're still struggling between this place of anger and sadness.
Right.
And so, kind of what I'm getting at is if you kind of look at it from a high level view, and then you also take the feel of recovery that's going on between the two of you, and maybe even that you're feeling from your partner, does that feel legitimate? Does it actually feel safer? Does it feel like there's progress being made, or are your feelings kicking off because there's actually still a bunch of red flags?
I think that I would say it's a little bit of both, and because the in between times of what I would consider relapse, he has a different opinion. And of course, I think my opinion is right. But in the in between times of the relapses is like solid. There's trust being rebuilt, there's safety being rebuilt. Um, and I see, the silver lining, I see the hope in it. And I can start to trust a little bit. But the second that another, in my opinion, relapse happens, um, that, you know, jar of trust marbles is poured out again. And so I think it's a little bit of both, and where I can't ever get emotionally grounded because you get knocked down again. You get knocked down again. And so it's like we're climbing up this mountain that we can never really make any progress on
What,
because of the relapse.
Mandy, what's the difference in opinion?
Um, so if we're just getting really practical, um, checking out a woman in a public place, that's a relapse to me. Just because of the boundaries that we've agreed upon in our relationship. But for him, he wouldn't necessarily classify it as a relapse. He would say,
How does the disclosure go down? Like, do you catch him doing that,
yes,
or so if you
yes.
so he doesn't so you catch him looking at a woman and he doesn't like say, "Hey, I checked her out," or it doesn't go that way.
No, it doesn't go that way, but on the back end, so it's never like in the moment. I'm not like, hey, what the heck? You just looked at her, but it's on the back end. We get home, hey, I need to talk to you. I saw you checking out another woman. And he'll say, yeah, I felt myself do it. I wondered about it, blah, blah, blah. And so we'll talk about it in that moment, but it's not. I don't really know how he views it, but I don't think he would view it as a relapse.
Okay. So, but in your mind, you view it as a relapse.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
do because I think that when you get down the road of lust, it's a slippery slope, you know? And so it's like, I don't know if for me things are so black and white, and I think a little bit more gray for him, which is understandable, you know. He's the addict and I don't know what that's like. Um, but when it's, you know, in this relationship and the boundaries that we've agreed upon as a couple,
What are those
um,
boundaries, Mandy?
um, I mean, it's definitely not checking other women out.
Okay.
It's not, you know, it's not communicating with other women one on one. It's,
When he's checking out other women, do you, I know this is getting annoying. I'm getting meticulous with this,
no, it's okay.
but I'm trying to go somewhere with this. Um, when he is like, what constitutes that? Is it like seeing a beautiful woman that he thinks is beautiful, or is it like his eyes linger? And what is lust? Like, what at what point is he lusting? Is he breaking that boundary? Um,
I think, I wouldn't call him like gawking at another woman,
okay,
but he's definitely looking too long to the point where it's noticeable to me and
okay.
probably, you know, somebody else in the room. And I think that it crosses over into lust when you can't just glance past a person and say, "Oh, wow, that's a good-looking human."
Who's defining that? I I guess here's some things as you're talking about this, Mandy. I think you're set up for failure between the two of you. Um, you have these boundaries in place, but the definitions aren't that clear, and they're also like a lot of it resides within him, and so you're not going to trust him unless you can trust that he alone can manage himself.
Right.
Right. So if your eyes are managing his eyes and then thinking what he's thinking or how far is he taking it or whatever, then you're always going to be caught in this state of he's betraying me. And he might be, Mandy. I'm not saying that he's not, but I'm not saying that he is. And I think both of you don't really know exactly whether he is or not. He's saying
Hmm.
he's not, you're saying that he is, and so betrayal will like it'll feel like it hits again and again and again
Right.
until something shifts here. I'm actually glad we went down this road. I think this is actually really important, but it's going to take a shift in the system a little bit for both of you, and a shift in the paradigm on what trust building actually is between the two of you. um, and we can get into that further, but do, do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, I do. Um, I think it's a lot more nuanced than I would like it to be.
Hmm.
Um, and to the point of like, I don't know if I would necessarily, I mean, yeah, actually, you're right. I do feel betrayed in that. So I'm not going to
Yeah.
even
Yeah,
finish
you
that
feel that
thought.
way, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
And he's saying, I'm not betraying you. This isn't a relapse. So then it's like, okay, then what's actually going on here? Um,
yeah. I mean, I don't think he's like happy about it. He's not proud of it. He's embarrassed of it, but I don't think he would use the word relapse for it.
mhm.
Yeah, I
Tyler,
think
any thoughts on this?
yeah, a couple of thoughts actually to go along with this, and then I want to make sure we don't get lost on this too far, even though I think this will apply to the original question. Because Brandon, where you're going at is that the original question is being amplified by the way they're handling this with each other. So the first thought I had is this makes it even harder if what Brandon's talking about is you said this when you were kind of checking in, Mandy. You said he kind of did recovery. He kind of did a 12-step program. He semi engaged in therapy. He went for a few months. we did a little bit of both. Um, there's a lot of ambiguity in your mind, at least, about the commitment of your husband's recovery overall,
Definitely. Yeah.
right? And so because you don't have that sort of inner sense or feeling that, man, like I got a partner who betrayed me, figured his crap out, went all in, did whatever it takes to restore trust. It's a lot easier now to take this situation that Brandon's talking about and go like, this is another one of those places where I'm not sure. I don't know if he's in
Yeah.
or out, like on this or not.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And so of course it's going to amplify itself up and it's going to keep coming up because it doesn't feel like even in 3 years, there's probably been little moments of progress, but you haven't felt the sense of like, and I'm not saying this is on you or him all the way, it's on both of you, but you haven't felt the sense of commitment in his recovery
Correct.
to
Yeah.
to be able to trust like, okay, hey, he might hit some bumps in the road, but I know he's all in.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
Right.
Could I add on to that a little bit and tell me if I'm off on this, Mandy? But so the ambiguity in his recovery doesn't feel very stable, like he's choosing you, like you're safe with a man who's there's fidelity there.
For
You
sure.
you throw on top of that you've had 3 babies in 3 years, including twins. Your body has been torn apart,
Yeah.
like literally, and you've gone through so much changes in your own life and just wondering like, am I being chosen? Am I the one that he wants? So on there's two sides to the fence. There's on his side of the fence, there's is he actually working recovery? On your side of the fence, like you're going through all this stuff and you're trying to survive and feel like you're good enough and chosen through all of that. You throw that all together and his eyes lingering on another woman can be extremely triggering, and extremely difficult to deal with. Um, and at the same time, there's a like trust is built on. Do you know what trust is built on?
Well, I
What's like the
would say
main
like
ingredient, the main thing?
honesty.
You nailed it. Yeah. So it's honesty. It's on facing reality and being honest with reality, right? So if you guys go out to dinner or whatever and he sees a beautiful woman and you notice the beautiful woman too, and you say, and I don't know if you do this or not, but is she beautiful? What should he do?
Um, Look at the ground and say no, thank you.
But that's not what he was asked.
Right. Yeah. But I mean, I will say that's definitely not our dynamic. I'm not, because I'm setting him up for
Well,
failure
well,
for
well.
sure in that.
When you come home and you say, "Did you notice? I did you? I saw you noticing that woman. Did you notice her?" And he'll say, "Yeah," or, but it's not in a strength based way of honesty. It's like, "Uh-oh, I'm in trouble. Now we're in this dynamic together. You're triggered."
Hmm.
And so this is where like the definition of lust does matter, and also your understanding of healthy sexuality on his side and your side is very important. Same with him, for him to know, where you can come to the table and say, yeah, like here's the reality. I love you. I choose you. You are my person. And I did note. I mean, that woman walked in that dress. I think we both noticed her, um, as she walked in. But I did turn my eyes away and I got focused back on you. And that's what I wanted to do. Now, if he didn't do that, then honesty would be, yeah, all night long I focused on her. And that's a problem. And I'm not managing my sexuality in a way that I want to be your husband. But the reality is we both noticed her. She's beautiful. And I didn't do a very good job at harnessing that in and dealing with that on my own, right? Versus this dynamic of you guys coming together, he's in trouble, you're triggered. Like that's going to keep you stuck in this state because what's going on inside of you emotionally, you're being told that I'm not safe. I'm not
Hmm.
safe. And so you're triggered into this pain of sadness, grief, fear, all those things again and again and again. And you're in this hyper arousal state. And unless this system shifts, you'll stay there and you won't be able to fully be vulnerable with him.
Yeah.
Right. Now that's hard. That's a hard thing to see. Right. So, Mandy, what are you thinking as I'm saying this?
Yeah, I mean, everything you're saying, I'm just like, yes, 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 that's it. Just that. I always tell him like I feel like I'm stuck in like the fight or flight. Um, I can never fully let my shoulders down, and he's stuck in freeze because he's terrified of me and he's
Hmm.
terrified of doing anything wrong to the point where I'm out. And so, yeah, we're definitely stuck in that dynamic that you're explaining. And um, yeah, I don't know how to get out.
I think we're part of the pathway through potentially is what Brannon's talking about a little bit, which is where both of you lean a little bit more into the valuing of getting honesty into the reality of our situation and then working from there. Even though it's painful, it's actually hard. It hurts. Brandon's talking. I had this happen right at the beginning of my own recovery. A few months, probably it's probably a few years into recovery. We went to out to dinner together, and we're sitting next to each other across from the table, enjoying each other's company. Finally, after like all of the horrible stuff, and somebody comes through the line. This woman, really beautiful woman, wearing a white tank top with no bra, just like, and she's standing by the drink machine like, I'm here, my wife's here, and this woman is standing like just like right at eye level. It's just like, oh gosh, like, and I'm on the inside, I'm like dying, like, oh no, like, ah, dang it, like, and then I can see my wife kind of like grimacing, and she's telling me something, and I'm just like trying to lock in and visit with her. That woman goes by, and my wife goes, Tyler, did you notice that woman? And I go, yeah, of course I did. And she's like, do you think she was beautiful? Yeah, she was really pretty. Did you see that she wasn't wearing a bra? Yep, I saw that too, babe. And she sat there for a second, and I could see stuff churning on the inside. And then she looked across the table from me and she said, thank you for being here with me. Right? She didn't like it. And I got to say, hey, babe, I know that's really hard. It's hard on both of us. Like, I'm sad that because of what's happened in the past, even coming out to dinner takes this kind of work.
Yeah.
Right? But to see her do that work and then to have me meet her with that work, that's the reality of our situation. That's the work that we're currently doing, and she can trust that I'm going to do the work, and I see her doing that work.
Yeah.
But it's based in the reality now instead of some kind of, like you said, he's freezing and be like, oh, what woman? Like, there's no woman. Like,
Yeah.
and you're like, that's what I want to hear, but I know that that's not true.
Right.
Right. And then you're never going to trust him.
Right.
Um, you will trust him if he's honest, and if you can trust that that's where he's at in his work right now. So this isn't where he wants to stay. He's learning. He's learning to bridle and harness all that power inside of him to the places that are going to yield the best fruit, and he hasn't figured it out yet.
Mm-hmm.
That's hard to hear, but you'd rather have the honesty of that with the work happening than to be lied to
For
constantly.
sure. Yeah, definitely. I think one thing that you said, Brandon, really stuck out to me is like, I don't necessarily know if I can trust him to manage himself as far as recovery goes. And so, even, in his mind, something might be like a huge win. He might be, three steps down the road. And in my mind, it's like nothing's happening, what I see
Hmm.
from the outside.
Yep.
And I can't force him to do recovery work. I can't force him to be honest. And so, um,
But Mandy, what you're explaining is like, and if you can follow me here, it has everything to do with the healthy polarity of the masculine and the feminine, and how trust is built. A woman wants a man who is steady and strong, independent of her. a man who has purpose and direction and integrity and will make those choices regardless of whether he's married or his wife's watching his eyes or not.
Right.
That's what a woman wants. She needs to know that in times of childbirth and having babies, that he's going to stay around, that he's going to stay strong, that he's going to choose her, that he's going to take care of things and protect and provide. That's what a woman wants to know, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
so what I'm hearing from you is like, I have to step up and make sure that I'm safe, and I have to step up and make sure that I'm okay. And so you're in a way taking on a masculine role to make sure that everything's steady and safe. And then he's coming around and like telling on himself, or yeah, like, or that's not a relapse, or that. So there's like nothing. Your foundation is jello. It's like nothingness
Yeah.
there. And so then
Yeah.
you're like, so you want a man to step up, to take
Right.
charge of his own recovery, to be proactive in that recovery. If you come to him and you say you lusted after that woman, and he knows that he didn't deep inside, instead of getting defensive, he wouldn't get defensive. You know what he would do?
Hopefully try to like be present with me and see why I think that.
That's it. He'd connect back to you because he'd know in his center, in his soul, he's okay.
Yeah.
So, and you would feel that from him, and you would know that he didn't lust just because you'd feel it. You'd know it. That would be just real to you.
Yeah,
Um, that's what's missing. So
for sure.
so we need to take a step back, and it comes back to what Tyler was saying earlier. This ambiguity of recovery, it's on both of your sides, Mandy. Honestly, you have to have some boundaries with yourself around managing him. And he's going to be uncomfortable with this, and so are you. But instead of managing him in order for you to feel safe, you need to say, okay, for me, for Mandy, what do I need to do for me to feel the safest that I possibly can in a relationship with somebody who's not totally safe right now? What do I do to work my recovery, and focus on me and what's in my control? And then you hand over to him. You go do your work, buddy. Like, go become that type of man that I deserve and that I need in order for me to feel safe. And I'm not going to do that work for you. And can you see the vulnerability here? Can you see the space of like discomfort?
Yeah.
That space is where the hard work really resides, and where you start to actually realize like, oh, he is making strides. We are getting safer together. Or you're going to realize the opposite of that. And so it's scary,
Hmm.
right? So what do you think about what I'm saying?
Yeah, it definitely makes me uncomfortable. Um, but I agree that it's true. Um, I don't want to have to manage somebody. Um, and at the same time, I'm terrified that he won't do it.
Yeah.
And what
Yeah.
does that mean for us? What
Yes.
does that mean for our family? So it's a hard reality to face for sure.
Yeah. You're getting right to the crux of it though, Mandy, now is that you don't trust that he will do the work to fight for you. And that's what keeps you hanging in there doing the work for him or trying to make sure you're hammering the work into him. But the price that you have to pay to do that is to then never trust him. So then that's why then you feel these things back and forth of like the anger and then the sadness, and because something inside of you kind of knows that
Yeah.
the anger and the sadness is the manifestation of the actual lack of trust in him.
Uh-huh.
Right. And it's a setup for both of you guys because you'll be able to probably cling to the relationship this way, and it will have a ceiling for its connection.
Mm.
You'll be able to hold on to a bad relationship and lie to yourself that he kind of sort of once in a while, a few months at a time fights for you. Um, and you'll be able to not have to face all the things that are real big things that you just said, which are that he may, what if he didn't choose you?
Hmm.
Oh man, that's loaded logistically, that's loaded emotionally. So it makes sense. It makes sense that you've got that fear and that you're clinging to it. But the trap is that the man you want to be with is a man who would choose you. And I would bet if we asked him, he wants to be with a woman who chooses him.
Mm-hmm.
And now you're both playing a game where you're both trapped into the relationship because you're settling for, you're in a sense, you're settling for the mess of pottage instead of fighting for the birthright.
Mm-hmm.
And the birthright's scary. Like it's really, really scary. It comes with the legitimate things that you're talking about, so it makes sense. That's why this is so hard.
Mm-hmm.
Mandy, can you give me some advice? I have a scenario. I want you to give me a little advice. Can I throw it past you here?
Sure.
There's a real life scenario for me. Um, and it applies to you. So I've done therapy for years. I used to do 30 hours a week with groups on top of that. And for years and years and years until I got so completely burned out that like it was really affecting my marriage. It was affecting my physical health. I was breaking down, and I realized that I'm not like Tyler. Tyler's an Iron Man. I call him the Iron Man. Um, but it's just I wasn't made to do that forever. And this past year, I sold my business, and like I'm rearranging things and I'm figuring things out, and I'm in a situation where I have an opportunity um, to do something big, and I feel called to it. I feel like it's an exciting, good thing. Um, but I have to lay it all on the line. Like there's a lot of risk to it, tons of it. I could lose everything. Um, or I could go back to just filling up my caseload and doing therapy again. I can support my family. I can do therapy. Um, what should I do?
Go for it. Take the risk.
Why? It's so much safer to do therapy. Like I can pay the bills. I can so much safer to do that. So why would I go for it?
Uh, I think that nobody wants to live a mediocre life
Hmm.
um, in any aspect, whether that's your career or your marriage or your family or um, who you are as a person. And so, uh, yeah, I mean, I think it's evident that you would live a life of regret and settling for what's easy and what's safe. And yeah,
Yeah, and the other side of it too, Mandy. If you really look at this, if I played it safe, playing it safe is not actually like protecting me. It's actually going to kill me. Like it's gonna take me out.
You'll just
Um,
have a stroke, high blood pressure, something.
yeah, like
yeah,
it'll ruin my relationships. Like it would kill me.
It'll just do it slowly.
Yeah, the slow burn of it because I'm too afraid to go for it. Um, and for that's what I want you to think about, Mandy, for you. Of I'm scared to do this. I'm scared that he won't choose me. I'm scared that he won't do the work. I hate to put it in his hands, but when you put it back in your hands, you're taking yourself out. You're burned out right now, Mandy. It's been years now, and you're tired and you're depressed, and that won't change as long as this dynamic that we've talked about stays in place. So you're between a rock and a hard place. But
yeah,
to me, there's one clear shot to take here. Just like you were with me, Mandy. You gave me great advice.
But
What is
let me ask you, Mandy, like, do you believe that you deserve to be in a relationship with somebody who chooses in with you?
absolutely.
Yeah. Then treat yourself that way. And one of the
you don't have to beg for him to
yeah,
choose you.
yeah, you're not, you
You don't have to
treat
force him.
yourself that way. And part of how you treat yourself that way is you actually, in some ways, surrender his recovery to him. And he will either be the man who grows into actually choosing you, or he will funnel himself out and it'll open space for someone to actually choose you because that's the life you deserve. That's the life you were designed for. You don't have to settle.
Now, that might mean divorce. That might mean after having 3 young kids, your family gets torn apart, right? So this is where what Tyler said is great.
I hear though, Brannon, between the lines, if I was a betting man, if Mandy treated herself like she deserves to be chosen in a relationship, and that included surrendering some of his garbage, um, it sounds to me like there's pretty good odds that that guy he's doing just enough that he would probably do just a bit more.
But I agree. I totally agree, but we don't know. We
we
don't
we don't know.
know.
There's no
And
guarantees on that. I'm just
we'll
saying I would
never
bet on
know.
that.
We'll never know as long as Mandy is stepping in and and like forcing him and taking care of his recovery. Like we don't know. And so we got to face all of the realities in order for us for you, Mandy, to back off
Yeah.
and see. And I hope his butt ends up in one of our groups. And I hope he comes out to our retreat and we will like get him going. Like recovery is there. It's possible. But maybe
Yeah.
not.
I think that of course, the extreme idea of like divorce and our family breaking up is obviously scary. It's not like what I would
Sure.
choose or what I want. But when it like in the weeds of it, I guess my question is like, what does that actually look like to separate that space? So like to not necessarily give like an ultimatum of like, hey, you either work recovery or I'm out. It's like that can look so nuanced in the weeds of it. And so what does that look like as a day-to-day thing to say like, hey, I'm taking my hands off, but like here are my boundaries?
Tyler, I'm
I'll
sure you
just
have
give,
answers here. Yeah.
oh no, I'll just give one example of that. Like, and this is like, I can still value myself, right? I want to, when I go out in public with my partner, I want to go out in public knowing that my partner's still choosing in with me, right? So there's going to be a little bit of flex and middle ground for the room of the work,
Mm-hmm.
but you might go out there and see whatever that, that triggers you and it's probably triggering him and you might say, "Hey, are you here with me or do you want to go that direction?" Right? And if he's like, "Oh, yeah, I'm here." Like, "Okay, cool. Keep going on with your day." But if he's like, "No, no, just a minute. Like, let me I forgot something down the aisle that woman just walked through. Like, I'm gonna go grab something." Right? Then you might say to him, "This is more about you than him. Hey, I want to be here with somebody who's present with me. And if you want to go do that, I guess you can do that. But I'm going to take the car keys and head out. Like, find your
Mm-hmm.
own ride home." Right? I'm gonna take care of myself, but I'm not gonna manage you.
Okay.
Right? And that's a kind of a public example, but you could
Yeah.
it's about what do I need to keep myself grounded and treating myself like I just said, I believe that I'm here with someone, I want to be with someone who chooses to be present with me. And then there'll be room for that flex that you guys are working on right now.
Mm-hmm.
And then you'll make your choices instead of hammering away at him on his choices.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would back way off of the like, are you lusting or are you not? And what I would focus on if I were you, I would have some pretty strong boundaries for yourself around managing his sexuality. And so like I'm not gonna like follow his eyes. I'm not gonna ask him. I'm not you Mandy, you need to go into two things. Your observation mode of him. And what you're observing is not so much his actions and behaviors. You're observing his energy. How does he feel to you? Does he feel like a trustworthy man? Is he being now you are watching, is he being proactive in his recovery? Does he go out of his way to be honest or does he go out of his way to be dishonest? You're just observing. That's all you're doing. That's it. You're not like, where were your eyes? Did you work your recovery? Did you do this? You're just watching. You're just watching and seeing. And then the other side of it is focus on your recovery and this is what Tyler was talking about, is if you're observing that you're not feeling safe, then you ask yourself, for you, what does it mean for you to be empowered to take care of you, your self-care? Hey, I need to go to an extra group. I need to spend this money on therapy. I need you to watch the babies so that I can go to the gym and just get a jog in, because I need this right now. Because I need to be empowered. I need to feel alive. I need to feel like I can move forward in my life no matter what, with or without you. As long as I have that, I can focus there. And as I observe his recovery, you're going to come back to him and not say, you know what, sleep on the couch because I watched your eyes. You're going to come back to him and say, I need safety. I need trust. You're not providing it. So we need to address that. And so what do we do from here? What's your plan? And if he comes back with no safety or no trust, then you start to have these boundaries, that these healthy boundaries will start to destroy your unhealthy relationship. As you have those boundaries, he might step up. And like Tyler said, he might come and be like, "Okay, it's time."
Mm-hmm.
Right? But do you see what I'm saying? Like, back off of like the lust in the eyes, and focus on Mandy's recovery, focus on your boundaries, and just watch and see, observe him.
Feel.
Yeah, and feel what he's doing, and then be honest with yourself about what it is. And if you're not feeling safe, don't come back to you're still lusting. Come back to
I'm not safe.
I need recovery. I need honesty, empathy, and consistency. Like, that's what I need from a man. You're not providing it. This is what I'm going to need to do. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you see the difference there?
Yeah, definitely. It's
Yeah.
Mandy, we went in a slightly different direction than I think any of us anticipated. I hope this will be helpful to you, especially when you listen to it back again. Thank you so much for your willingness to come on and chat with us today.
yeah.
Before we hang up the call today, is there anything else on your mind or heart? Where are you at emotionally?
Um, I will say I definitely feel a little bit more peace. Um, and trust in myself to do what's right, even when it's hard.
Yeah.
Mandy, one, I just want to say you're a hero, a mother of twins. Like, holy cow. You are amazing. And then you had another one.
Basically triplets.
So you can do hard. You can do hard
Yeah.
things. And we got your back. Like, if we can support you, we have resources, we have groups, you can't do this just on your own. And you've tapped into some good resources. Sounds like you have some good support. But if you do what you've always done, you're going to get what you've always gotten. So, new education, good support, a new way of looking at things. You got this, Mandy. You can do this. So, thank you for coming on. Thank you for your
Thank
vulnerability.
you.
It's people like Mandy that make this show great. And so, if you appreciate her vulnerability and her willingness to come on, get in the reviews and leave her a little note and just shout her out. And until next time, keep on keeping on.